or welcome back. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. If you are returning, you already know it. You are fabulous. All right, so today's video, we're doing some more Farmhouse. I love Farmhouse. I hope that you guys are still loving Farmhouse. If there is something else that you would like to see, I would love for you to let me know in the comments down below. I am willing to try whatever it is that y'all want to see. You just let me know. These videos are for y'all, so I want to do what it is that y'all are wanting to see. So definitely let me know in the comments, okay? All right, so today's video, obviously it's going to be Farmhouse, but guess what? It is so stinking cute. All right, let's jump right in. Welcome everybody. Okay, so I cannot wait for y'all to see these. Thank y'all so much for being here with me today. All right, I have got this yardstick that I bought, or yard stake, I guess you would call it, that I got from the Dollar General store. I've also got this mat. Look at this thing, y'all. $5. Oh yeah, we are so doing this. As soon as I saw that thing, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. I also have a piece of foam core board that I got from the Dollar General store. Now, I took those stakes and placed those around the mat onto the foam core board and kind of measured it out like that. I just eyeballed it, measured it. I then took this utility knife, and that utility knife I bought at the Dollar Tree, y'all, and it was the sharpest one I think I've ever used. Like, no joke, they are good utility knives, promise. So I just cut this off, but what I did, blonde moment, was actually cut off where I had measured out where the stakes were actually going to go. So I completely messed this up. Thank goodness I have another piece of foam core board that we're going to use in a little bit later. But as I'm doing this, I have no idea that I'm actually cutting off what I had measured that needed to be there. So messed that one completely up. No big deal. It's just crafting, y'all. We'll fix it. I have cut my stakes down now to the size that I needed to go around the mat. I'm painting them with my plaster chalk paint by Waverly. I'm just painting all three sides. The one side I'm not worried about because it's actually going to be on the foam core board. But the other three sides, I really wanted those to get, and the ends of them, I really wanted those to get a really good coat of paint. I'm actually going to go back with my sanding block and distress those, but I did want them to have a good coat of paint to start with. I then took some clear wax from Waverly. Now, I've only used this a couple times, but it kind of, I guess it protects the wood, which I'm not worried about that actually, because this is going to be on my wall and it's not going to be in the weather or anything like that. But I thought, hey, I'll just go in and use it. I've got it. So tried it out. It works good. Now I took the other piece of foam core board that I have, my Aleene's tacky glue that you can buy at, well, actually you can buy it at the Dollar Tree, but you can get it at Dollar General. You can get it at Walmart. Pretty much anywhere that sells glue, you can get that Aleene's. And I have really got to where I like the Aleene's a lot for different projects. So I just smeared that out all over that foam core board. I then took the mat, laid it down on the board, smoothed it out. Around the edges, now where I didn't have the glue real good on the board, I just added the glue to the actual mat and smeared that in with my paintbrush. I just got a little regular old paintbrush. I'm just smearing it in and making sure that, you know, it's good and stuck. And y'all, this stuff works so well. I mean, it really is sticky, very. So I just went all the way around the edge just to make sure, you know, just kind of some extra support that it was going to be there. I did get a little bit of glue on the mat itself, but no big deal. I just grabbed a baby wipe, wiped it right off. Totally good to go. Now, I'm going to take those stakes and actually go ahead and add those before we cut the foam core board. That's what I should have done the first time, but I didn't. I don't know what I was thinking, honestly. Apparently I wasn't thinking. But anyways, I just took my hot glue, added it to the stakes, and then added the stake to the foam core board, straight down to it. This is so stinking awesome when it's done, y'all. It is a very big piece. Very, very good size. Not much of that board got cut off, as you could see there before, but I just, after I got my stakes on there, I cut the board off from around it, and I'm done. This cost me $10 total, and I absolutely love it. It is so awesome. right, moving right along, y'all. DIY number 2. So for this one, I've got 5 of these little boxes, crates, whatever you call them, from the Dollar Tree. I've also got some of the leather ribbon from the Dollar Tree. Got some stencils that I thought about using, some little chalkboard tags. And then I've got these. They are actually cut out that were sent to me by a very special viewer friend of mine when I first started my channel. And yes, I still have them. So we're going to use them today. Now, I've got my Star Bond glue and also the accelerator that goes with it. Now, there will be a link to the Star Bond glue and also a discount code in the description box for this glue. This stuff works great. You actually add the glue to one part and then the accelerator to whatever you're sticking that to. So I just added my glue all the way around the edge of this little crate. I'm then going to take the accelerator and spray it directly on the bottom of this and then stick these two together. It's that simple, and this glue works really, really well. And actually, they've got a bunch of different kinds. I mean, it's like a super glue / wood glue / everything. I mean, it's pretty much, it glues everything. All right, now I've got my plaster chalk paint, silver lining, and also elephant. What I did was take that plaster, and I just painted both of these sets of boxes, crates, whatever, with the plaster first. I gave it a pretty good thick coat on both boxes. I'm then going to take the elephant color and a very small brush and just go right down inside those lines. So the lines are actually like indentions in the wood. In each crate, they've got the little indentions in them. And so I was able to take that brush and just go right down inside there with that elephant color. Y'all, this is the easiest way to distress something or, you know, to make it look like old wood or whatever. Just stick with me. This is so simple. So once I had my lines on there, I'm going to take my brush that still had the plaster on it and just go back and forth right over the top of that. It smears in those lines. It, you know, starts to blend the colors together. I added a little bit more paint to my brush because it was starting to kind of try to dry out on me. So I did add a little bit of paint, went right back over the top of that. But as you can see there, it's still smeared out, you know, pretty good. So I'm going to take that brush, that small brush, and just add in a couple more dark lines. So simple. I just added it back in, and then I just simply swiped right over the top, and boom, it's done. Was that easy, y'all. I continued this process around it. See there, I'm just pulling paint from the side. Literally just pulling that paint. And that's the way I covered the sides of it. So I just continued this same process for both boxes, front and back. I would add my plaster, then go in with the elephant, smear it, then add a little bit more of the elephant color, and then swipe back over it with my brush a couple times, and it works out perfectly. It's so simple to do. Used my heat gun to dry these. There's always a link in the description box for that heat gun. That thing is a time saver. You hear me? It's fantastic. All right, now I've got my antique wax by Waverly, and I've got a set of push pins or thumbtacks, whatever you want to call them. And I just pushed those down into that foam board that I had cut off from earlier in my blonde moment. I just pushed them down into that, then took that antique wax, went right over the top of them just to rust them up, give them that rust look. I took that ribbon and cut myself out 4 strips, about the length of what a handle would be. Now, I started out by just taking the push pin, and I was going to push it directly in there. I thought that I could push it right through that, but it was super hard to get in. I mean, like, I was having a hard time pushing it in there. Hurt my thumb, matter of fact. So I grabbed, closest thing to me, I believe it was my miter shears. I tried to kind of nail it down in there. And when I did that, the top of the thumbtack come off, and I thought, hey, that's a perfect idea. So happy accident. I ended up taking my wire cutters and just snipping off the actual pin part of these thumbtacks. Just literally snipping it off. I then took my hot glue and the ribbon, added 2 little dabs of hot glue, placed my ribbon on the sides of the boxes right where I wanted it, just added that in,
held it down, made sure it was good and secure. I then took one of the push pins, added a little bit of hot glue to the very inside of it, and then put that right on top of the ribbon. And it gives the illusion as if it is nailed in there, y'all. It looks so real. I'll hold it a little closer to the camera here in a minute and you'll be able to see. It really looks like they are nailed in there. So simple. So simple, guys. Check it out. That worked out so well. All right, so continued this process, just adding a little dab of hot glue to each end of my ribbon. I place my ribbon right down on the side of the box, right where I want it. I'm going to get it in position, just kind of hold it there, make sure I've got it stuck right where I want it. I'm then going to take the push pin again, add a little bit of hot glue. Now, I got tickled at myself trying to do this because look at them big old long fingernails, y'all. What am I thinking? Hello. I had the hardest time picking those little pins up and being able to hold on to them because of them darn nails. But I like my fingernails like that. And they're just fake ones. They're just Walmart push, stick-ons. But either way, I thought they were cute. But they did make this project just a hair difficult. But hey, got it done. It's all good. Check it out. I love this. Okay, so once I got those on, I've got two little like oval shape wood rounds. I believe I picked these up at Hobby Lobby, but you can find them at Walmart. Sometimes you can find stuff like this at the Dollar Tree also. But I took some of that antique wax, and at first I was just going to go right around the edge of these and kind of dry brush it a little bit and just try to give it a little pop of color. But I wanted that wood to still really show through. Well, then when I took my baby wipe and wiped across it, it looked perfect. All right, now I'm taking those letters that we had, and I'm just going to cut out the letters that I actually need. I'm just going to cut those away from this paper. We're going to be adding some of the, well, I just went completely blank. It's actually like contact paper from the Dollar Tree, but I'm going to use it as transfer tape. That's what I was trying to say. So I cut out the word Hello Spring. I then lined up my letters, placed my transfer tape on top. I just rubbed those in, peeled the backs off of that, and then I'm going to place that right onto that wood. So super simple. Spelt out the word hello. I'm going to add my transfer tape to this. Took me a couple tries to get it just right, and I've been wanting to use these letters for a while. I mean, I've had these literally since I started this channel. I mean, it wasn't long after that they were sent to me, and I still appreciate them very, very much. So thank you. If you're watching, you know who you are, and don't worry, I've still got all of the stuff that you sent me. Y'all, she sent me a ton of cutout stuff, so got lots more DIYs to do using those. But I just placed those on the fronts of my little boxes. I actually lined my boxes up so that I could line up the little ovals. So stinking cute, y'all. All right, now I've got this floral moss, and I've already added some foam inside of my boxes. Now that's just foam from an Amazon box. I added a little hot glue and then pushed my moss down in there. And that's just so that moss will stay in place and not, go everywhere. I love the look of the reindeer moss or floral moss, whatever you want to call it. I love that pop of green, but I definitely didn't want this stuff all over my house. So that's why I did the hot glue. Now, I did add some in on the sides just to the very top because obviously there's those holes in these crates. But I just added that floral moss to the very top. I thought it just made a little more sense. And because that foam was in there, it stuck just perfectly. I was able to stick it in there. Now, as far as on the other two, the bottom two, I wasn't worried about those. I didn't think it was going to matter, so I just left those alone. I did the same exact thing to the smaller crate. I had my foam already in there. I just added my hot glue right across the top of that foam. And it does melt the foam a little bit, but no big deal. It's not going to hurt anything. I added my reindeer moss right to the top. So stinking cute, y'all. Oh, my goodness. And these were cheap. These are so cheap to make. What do we got in this? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes, a thing of floral moss. That makes 6. The ribbon, 7. I got these picks at the Dollar General store. Now, they were $1 a piece, and I believe there's 5 of those. So $12 total it cost me to make this DIY. Now, I took those picks and my wire cutters, and I just snipped off each pick individually. I placed those in the crates. As you see there, just no rhyme or reason. I literally just stuck them in there. And I liked these because they look like clover, and y'all know I love some clover. So check them out. $12. Too stinking cute. Before we go any further, I would like to give a huge thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so Skillshare is an online learning community that offers thousands of online classes that are built perfectly for your everyday real life. So whether you are wanting to brush up on some techniques for something that you already do, or maybe you are wanting to actually learn something new, I mean, why not? It is the perfect time to learn something new. Then Skillshare is the perfect place for you. They offer classes on photography, crafting, video production, cooking, you name it. They've got a class for it. I'm telling y'all, seriously. I'm actually taking the hand lettering classes, and I love it. I love that I can do it at my convenience, on my schedule. I also love that I'm doing something for me, something that I can be proud of. So y'all be sure and go check them out, because for my first 1,000 subscribers, they are offering a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. After that, it's only like $10 a month for you to continue to take these classes. So it is a win-win all the way around. You will learn something new and be a part of a community. I mean, this is just perfect, especially for right now, this day and time. The world is just yucky that we're in. So go take a class, enjoy yourself, encourage yourself, be around others that are going to encourage you. But definitely check this out, y'all. All right. Let's jump right into the next one. DIY number 3. So for this one, I've got one of these candlesticks. This was actually sent to me with a couple more of these from a very special viewer friend of mine. She sent me, she sent me like 20 of them, 10, 20, something like that. I don't know. It was quite a few because I haven't been able to find them anywhere. Okay, I've got pans also that came from the Dollar Tree, and then the Rust-Oleum 2x Ultra Cover Matte White. Now, I'm going to be using this, this is the Star Bond Thick All-Purpose Adhesive. It said it was good for high gloss finishes. So I thought, okay, the shiny metal, plus you got the candlestick that's like the shiny porcelain or whatever it's made out of. I've also got the accelerator that goes with the glue. We used this earlier. So I put the glue on the candlestick, I put the accelerator on the pan, and then pop that candlestick right down in there. Now, one thing to know about this glue, once you stick it, once that glue touches that accelerator, it's stuck. I mean, it's done. So you better make sure you got it right where you want it. Held it down, let it get good, and it's like 20 seconds, I think, is what the bottle says, but check it out. I mean, it's good and stuck. So did the same thing to the bottom of the candlestick. I just added the glue first, got it on there really good, added the accelerator to the bottom of the other pan. I believe this is like a bundt pan or not a bundt pan. It is like a loaf pan, I think. Or bread pan. I don't know. Somebody let me know in the comments, please. So got it stuck. Check it out. Is that not awesome? Y'all, that accelerator is some cool stuff. All right. So I've got some craft glue and a paint pen. Now I started out with the paint pen going around the edges, but I kept having to like go back over it. So I decided to use this black craft paint that came from the Dollar Tree. It's actually chalkboard paint. So I've got a little sponge, it's a makeup sponge. And I'm just going to go right around the edge. We're just going to give this that enamel wear look. We're trying to distress it a little bit, but I start out just going around the edge, and I'm not doing it perfectly. The whole point of the enamel look, or, you know, the distressed look of metal, is the imperfections. So don't try to be perfect with it. It does not have to be perfect. See how I kind of got a little bit on the edge there? That's actually what you want to do. You kind of want to get out of line and make sure that you've got a couple places that aren't just right. So I actually purposely added in some places, and then I just added some spots around the pan, like on the edges. I did a little on the candlestick, just anywhere that I thought, you know, it would kind of give it a little pop. I personally don't like to put a lot of spots on it, because then it's not as natural looking to me. But I mean, you do it however you want to. You can add in as many of the black spots as you want. I just personally like to do a few and leave it alone. And then that way, to me, it looks more natural when you do it that way. But that's just my opinion. Everybody can do, you know, do it your way. All right. So, like I said, just added that in, and that's all I did. And this is the cutest little 2-tiered tray. I love this thing. All right, y'all, DIY number 4, and our last one for the day, and the one that goes with our tiered tray. So I've got this chunky block of wood from the Dollar Tree, and then I've also got a bunch of different ribbons. Some of these came from the Dollar Tree, some of them came from Walmart. I've also got this green twine that came from burlapfabric.com, and there's a link in the description box for burlap fabric. I've also got some beads that I got off of Amazon, and I'll have a link in the description box for those also. Now, I'm taking my Elephant Waverly chalk paint and also the silver lining, mixing the two of those together in a small container. I've also got some water. I'm going to add that to it, and we're going to make a stain. But I wanted a real light gray stain. I wanted it to be, obviously it's going to match with everything else that we've done with this set of DIYs. But I wanted the wood to still show through, but I did want it to be gray. So it's like a weathered wood look. So I just mixed that together super, super good. Splattered it everywhere. Did y'all see that? I even splattered it on the beads, y'all. I didn't even know I had done that until I went to start beading them onto the twine. But that's besides the point. Whatever. We're going to keep on going. All right. So I just took that mixture and painted this entire little block of wood. Painted the edges all around the sides. I painted front and back. Good coat of it. Good thick coat. I then took a baby wipe and just wiped it right back off. You could still see the wood going through, and it looked great. All right, now I've got this rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree, and what I did was I just picked out a set of words that I thought would be cute on our little block of wood, and I cut that out about the size of that block of wood, and I just cut the whole set of letters out, or words, should I say. Place those right down on our block of wood. Now, I dried that piece of wood really, really good before I did this. I took another little piece of wood that I had and rubbed it really, really good across that transfer, and then just started to peel my paper up. Now, you got to really rub on these to get the, keep it from pulling your letters up. So, I just very carefully made sure that I wasn't peeling it off. Now, I'm taking some masking tape and just rounding it around some twine. I pulled that through our block of wood. I'm then going to take the two pieces of twine, masking tape around the end of that, and then start to bead our garland. What we're doing is a beaded garland. It's going to be super duper cute, and it will go so good with our tiered tray. So I just placed my beads right on that twine. I'm now going to take my ribbon. Now, I started out, I put the ribbon all on a pencil. In my mind, I thought this will keep it together. Yeah, right. Anyways, it didn't work out real well, but hey, it was worth a shot. So I got all of the ends of my ribbon and twine together, and then began to, wrap those around our little block of wood. That's about the size of the tassel that I wanted. So I just used that block of wood to make the tassel. So once I got my ribbon wrapped around it a couple times, I snipped it off. I'm then going to take the 2 pieces of twine that we had, pull them apart, very carefully push that one piece of that twine underneath our ribbon. Make sure that the ribbon is still super tight, pulled really, really tight. I'm then going to tie a double, I think actually I did like a triple knot in this with that twine. And that's how we are going to attach the tassel to our beaded garland. So right at the very top of the tassel, you're going to have the twine meet the beads. I then had to cut a little bit in order to be able to pull this off of that wood because I had it so tight. But, I mean, that's perfect. All right, so once I got my twine off, or my ribbon and twine off, I just snipped it in half, snipped all my loops, got those straightened out. I took another piece of that twine, the green twine, got all of the ribbon pretty well even, had it all fanned out real good. And I'm going to take that twine and just tie another knot at the very top of my garland there that we're making. Tassel that we're making. I said garland, but that's whatever. Y'all know what I meant. Oh my gracious. Okay, so tie a knot there, double knot there. Get it good and tight. And then you're going to trim down your ribbon so that it's all one length and it all goes really well together. This is super, super simple. And this was other than the beads, y'all, this is a complete Dollar Tree DIY here. So stinking cute. I love it. Love this. So stinking cute. And now for the final reveal. I hope that y'all have enjoyed these.
All right, y'all, that is it for today. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. I know that I always have a blast doing these videos, and I'm so grateful that I'm in the position that I'm in. And if it weren't for you, I would not be able to do this. So a huge, huge thank you. And I mean that. I am dead serious. This is the neatest thing that has ever happened to me. And if you guys didn't watch these videos, then I would not be able to do this. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. All right. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It is a free way to help your girl out. Don't forget to share this with your friends and family, and subscribe, for heaven's sakes. Why not? All right, hit that notification bell so that you will know each time I upload a new video. And y'all have a blessed day.